Hello and welcome to the SICE Re-Innovation Introduction to Strategic Foresight for Resilience and Innovation online short course. This course is designed to introduce you to the mindset and practice of strategic foresight and equip you with a few easy-to-use tools that you can take forward into your organization to drive better decision-making, planning, and innovation. This course consists of 5 modules. Each module comprises a handbook chapter, video demonstrations of the exercises, and a task for you to complete. Humans have always tried to understand what the future looks like, from gazing into crystal balls to analyzing the stars, or reading bones or tea leaves. These days, you can make a career out of being a futurist. A futurist looks at current social and business trends and advises businesses and governments on how they should prepare for the future. But why do humans have this desire to predict the future? Understanding what might happen in the future allows us to build more resilient and innovative teams, businesses, and societies. And through this course, you too are going to start developing a futurist mindset. The current rate of change is greater than humans have ever experienced, and it is important for societies, organizations, and individuals to adapt and innovate, to survive and to thrive. But how can we possibly know what is coming? And how do we prepare for it? We're going to do a quick exercise to imagine the future. You're going to transport yourself 30 years forward. When you think about your city or town, how do you imagine it will have changed? What do the buildings look like? How does transport work? What is the role of money? Are there any trees? Keep thinking. How is food produced? How do people work and live together? What art and music do they make? How does your city treat its vulnerable people? These postcards illustrate what people in the 1890s thought 2020 would look like. We do have submarines, even if they're not powered by whales. But the robotic floor cleaner, at top left, looks a lot more like a version of today's vacuum cleaner. And while postmen don't travel on wings, like the image below right, in 2020, Amazon announced that parcels would be delivered by drone in the United States in 2021. Strategic foresight is not about better predictions of the future. Instead, strategic foresight is about better preparedness for different futures that are all possible and plausible. We can't predict the future, but we can look up from what is happening in front of us day to day and imagine the ways things are likely to change. Then, when the future happens, as it will, we can be more prepared to embrace it. Strategic foresight is a way of thinking and a practice, and is a subset of strategic thinking. Strategic thinking was formally created as a discipline in the 1950s, and since then has been used by government, corporates, and innovators from across the world. It is not crystal ball gazing. It is about identifying the factors that influence the future and about understanding alternative futures so that we can make better present-day choices. Strategic foresight is grounded in a systems perspective, which means that we look to solve problems by deeply understanding the entire system that they are a part of and how the different parts are influenced and influence each other. Strategic foresight will allow you and your organization to better understand the system that you're a part of and the uncertainty, complexity, and volatility of trends or events in the world. It will help to reveal assumptions you have about your environment and the future. It will allow you to make better decisions in the short term and more responsible and flexible plans for the long term. In strategic foresight, before projecting into the future, we spend a lot of time looking at the present and the past, at the context and the precedents. This makes the ideas and roadmaps we come up with more likely to be possible and plausible, because we have thought about why today's problems have arisen. While foresight can strengthen all facets of your planning and strategy, it is perhaps best known and used for facilitating radical innovation, which means having big new ideas that create big impact. The examples of strategic thinking you might have heard about are when governments or big companies have spent months working with specialized consulting firms and large budgets to go through a full scenario planning process. But strategic foresight doesn't need to be expensive or drawn out. It is a way of thinking, of continuously orientating the way you work and the decisions you make with a future mindset. And you can learn it. Are you ready to get started?